You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and just like any other time, we have another awesome show for y'all lined up for y'all today. Just like I said, man, Refocus, we are doing some amazing things because we have some amazing guests and we are growing super fast. So if you can real fast, go to IamRefocusedRadio.com. Tell a family, tell a friend to subscribe to the podcast, and make sure you just check out our guest today because she is a returning guest. We have the one and only Debra Cohen, and you know her story. She beat the odds, and she's going to tell us what's going on right now in her world. I just want to say, first and foremost, Debra, thank you for coming back on. How have you been doing?
Oh, thank you very much, Shamaya, for having me on here. And I am sitting here by the grace of God, survived Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton down in Florida, only having been here in the state for 9 months. And we've already been through 2 huge hurricanes. So I just got my internet on this morning so I could make this interview with you.
Wow.
How is that?
Now, that's an intro right there. I don't know if anyone this week can beat that intro. You got to give us the backstory. So if you don't mind me asking for the audience, where parts of Florida are you in?
The Tampa Bay. Yes.
So
the path from Mexico, where this Milton started, and then swept across the Gulf Bay and targeted a little bit south of Tampa. I think got more of Sarasota, but man, oh man, talk about flooding and devastation everywhere. What a trip. I'm telling you, I've never lived through anything like this. You know, I come from Boston, so, you know, we had to deal with snowstorms of that caliber. So I'm used to the snow, but that's why I left. I left my snow shovel behind. Anyway, so then I came down south to get warm, you know, because I'm one of them, what they call snowbirds, like a baby boomer, let's be honest, okay? And I thought, man, I'm in paradise. Florida is gorgeous. The greenery, that's why people want to come here because it's so tropical and beachy. If you do the beach, I don't. I'm just in my recording studio, which is where you see me right now, making music. And so here I am. I don't know what I was saying, but I'm just happy to be here with you, Shamaya.
Yeah, no, you're talking about, from Boston to Florida, from the snow to the amazing weather. And recently, though, like you said, you survived those crazy storms. And I just want you kind of paint the picture for the audience. I mean, all over the news, we saw around the country the preparations that are being made, and just a lot of people trying to leave, getting things as best as they could to protect their buildings, businesses, and houses. For you, what was the preparation like for you? And sounds like you got internet, so you got to know what happened.
Yeah, well, the first storm, Helene, which was a week earlier, the name of the first hurricane that I experienced as a new resident in Florida happens to be named after my mother. So I thought, okay, Ma, I didn't have a good relationship with her, and I'm thinking, this is payback, right? Because I wasn't the greatest kid, was very rebellious. So, but my husband and I decided to tough it out. We were new residents in Florida, and we live in a 55 plus community, and they do, the state of Florida does tell you to evacuate if you live in a mobile or a modular home, but we ignored the warning and took a chance. It's about taking chances sometimes. Try not to be foolish about it, but I had it mapped out which section of the home I was going to lay on the floor and try to find a belt and tie it around my waist and a doorknob, so I don't know, too many movies. I think I saw something where somebody was in a hurricane and they they had a belt around them. What show was that? Do you remember there, Shamaya?
I don't know if I recall that one, but it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, I put my foam mattress on the floor where I was going to lay down in case it took the house away. And my husband said, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" I'm like, "No, I'm getting ready for the hurricane." But anyway, so that we survived that. Thank God for that. But then here comes Milton. I'm like, "Oh my God, what is this? We don't even get a break from people are still cleaning up from Helene." So we were going to stay. And then my husband's boss said, "Look, this is a big one. You thought Helen was bad? This is big. All of the people that have been here for a while are leaving. You better not stay." So we're like, okay, where can we go? We don't have much money here. You don't get very far on Social Security, and I'm unemployed because of COVID. That's another long story. So, we got in the car and, the day before Milton came, and everybody mostly had already evacuated. So there was no bumper to bumper traffic like you see in the news, and they had waived the toll fees. So we rode up the toll road toward the Georgia border, and there were hardly any cars anywhere. It was great. And we stopped at this rest area and on the side of 75 road there, and just kind of camped out there with everybody else that was sitting there. The state park side rest area was full, and around 1 o'clock in the morning, Milton was already doing his damage, and we thought, it's going to take us about 3.5 hours to get back home. Why don't we start? So we left the rest area at 1 a.m., and it took us 5 hours to get home. It was creepy because there was these, the tall street lights with the double lights on the top when you're on the highway. Big, tall things were laying across the road. So I'm 1 o'clock in the morning weaving in and out of these because, this pickup truck goes by me because he's got to pass. He's got a pickup truck. He's got to show me he's got more power than my little Kia Soul, So he goes bombing ass by me on the left side passing, and he rode right over this light pole that was still plugged in, and there was sparks flying everywhere. And I'm like, oh my God, good thing I was still awake. I had to weave around the pole and the sparks. And then on the other side, the turtle lane, the slow lane on the right, there's trees taking the whole lane everywhere. Trees on 75 South. I'm going, oh my God. So my husband called 511. I think that's what you call for a roadside service or something, just to let people know, come and get these trees out of the road, because if somebody doesn't see them in the dark, it's going to be catastrophe. So anyway, we're weaving. I felt like this, that game show where you have to go over all these obstacles. That's what it was like going home. It was ridiculous. And then on top of that, my Waze app brings me down to St. Petersburg. And I'm like, what are we going down St. Petersburg for? And I thought, well, maybe the app knows what's going on. It takes us into this double lane secondary road that's looks like a lake. I'm not going to drive through this on Gunner Highway. And I'm like, what the, I'm like, so we had to go back to where we exited because it told us to take the wrong exit. And now we're on sailboat fuel. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it home because I don't have any gas. But I made it home by the hair of my chinny chin chin. We made it. Oh, we wanted to kiss the ground. We get out of the car. And of course, there were no lights on, no electricity. And the screen porch on the front of our house had been torn to smithereens. And a couple of my plants didn't make it. But other than that, there were houses in the same development where we lived that were blown apart. What's that cartoon? I'm going to huff and I'm going to puff and I'm going to blow the house down. Well, yeah, it's like a rumble, a bunch of sticks. And so anyway, we've been living in the dark, and my husband had bought a generator, because we want to live here full time. And we get it filled up with gas, and we're thinking, oh, this is going to be so much fun, just like camping, And we put gas and oil in this generator, and the damn thing don't start, and it's brand new. I'm like, oh my God, so we had a couple nice neighbors come over and they said, look, it must have got damaged in transit because when you pull the cord, like, the old fashioned lawnmower, it doesn't pull out. It's stuck. There's something stuck. So it's sitting out there in the driveway right now. And I'm like, oh, okay. If we want to return it, we have to empty the gas and the oil out of it. How do you do that? Come on, man. The thing weighs like 200 pounds. I'm like, I don't know. What are you going to do? Dump the gas out on the grass or what do you want me to do? So anyway, but hey, it could be worse. We could have no house to come back to. We have a house, we have sunshine, and we have internet now just in time for this interview.
Wow. I mean, that in itself is like a movie. That sounds like a movie, like
crazy.
A hit movie. Like you almost write a book about that whole experience.
Well, someday I'm going to write a book. Yes, I keep adding chapters every day. It's exciting to be here. Yes.
I want to know about your neighbors because you mentioned that obviously some had some greater loss and damage. What has been the community been like in your area? You see a lot more people coming together. You see any outside help showing up to maybe assist people or at least trying to boost them around a little bit?
Well, this community that we're in, everybody helps each other, and we don't know a lot of the people yet because like I said, we've only been here 9 months, but this guy next door saw that, my husband works online selling generic drugs to pharmacies. So he's unemployed while we have no electricity. And of course, I can't do my music and that freaks me out, but that's not, traumatic, like not having an income. But so this nice guy next door, he knocks on the door. We haven't met him yet because he just moved in 2 weeks ago next door. He says, I have a generator going and, we could hear it. He said, and I noticed there's an extra outlet on it that's not being used. Would you like to use this cord? He even brings the extension cord so that you can plug in and save the food in your refrigerator. I'm like, oh my God, this guy regained my faith in humanity. Wow. I'm telling you, there are pockets of nice people out there. They're not all butt heads like you see on the media a lot of the times today. So, there's still nice people out there. We're all out there, even without electricity, we're, putting on, raking each other's, taking care, knocking on each other's doors, making sure that we're all right and how can we help, and phenomenal. So we love being here, and we're just really grateful that this hurricane we survived.
This is on Refocus Radio, talking to our guest today, Debra Cohen. Go to her website, is debracohenmusic.com. I love that we're talking about this because one is recent news, and two, you're kind of giving us a inside scoop of someone who actually not just survived the storms, but can give us clear feedback of what you're experiencing yourself. My last question would be, as far as what you see on the news versus what's actually happened down there in Florida. Kind of share the audience, what were some of the things that you actually seeing in your local area? What are the officials in your area saying as far as maybe the timeline, how you can, the people affected in Florida can see progress?
Well, we haven't been paying too much attention to local news because it's if you get inundated with negative pictures and negative situations, even though it is reality, it's hard to fathom. It's hard to take it all in. So, people are in survivor mode. And in the city that we're in near Tampa, the people first told us to stay home. The officials told us, stay home. Don't get in the way of the people that are trying to restore electricity. Allow room for emergency people to get through because the red lights aren't working and it turns into chaos. You got to have police out there on these 4-lane highways trying to direct traffic. I'm oh my God, and then the other freak out thing is there's no gas. I've never experienced this before. No gas anywhere. And I didn't know how to find gas. And I had less than 100 gallons not 100 gallons, 100 miles left in my car. And so every day, this is the wrong thing to do, people. If you move to Florida and then you go through, do not drive around looking for gas because you probably won't find any. And I didn't know how to find gas. Nobody seemed to offer that information. But I got some lady that she brought over her phone and she said, when I need gas, I just use this app called Gas Buddy. I'm like, really? I didn't know there was such a thing. So it's called Gas Buddy, and it says right on it, find gas. I don't know if you can see it. Find gas. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I did that 2 days ago. And one place had gas, and it wasn't in Tampa. It was in East Lake. And so I by this time I have 23 miles left on my car of gas. I'm like, oh my God. What am I going to do? I have 23 miles. And the empty light goes on. So I drive there and I'm thinking, oh, I'm so glad. I hope they still have gas by the time I get there. And, there is a line of cars about half a mile long for gas. So then, you have to get in line and it's at Walmart. Thank you, Walmart. I put in a plug for you. Yes. Thank you. So I go to Walmart in East Lake and I get in the line and, I'm sitting there and every time we stop, I have to shut off the car because I don't want to run out of gas before I get to the pump, and I'm praying, oh Lord, please let there be gas by the time I get to the pump. And then this lady in this Volvo puts on her right blinker beside us on the left, beside the line, and she's thinking she's going to get cut in. I'm like, people, what's wrong with you? I've been sitting, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to be a good Samaritan and let you sneak in front of me. So she didn't get in. She gave up. So then it's time to take a turn into Walmart, and I'm almost ready to take the turn. And this guy from the opposite direction, he's got his blinker on and he's going to cut in front of me. I'm like, you think so? I don't care if you're a guy or not. You're not getting in front of my car. So, he tried his best. He tried to get his front right, headlight there, squeezing in between me and the guy. I'm like, I don't care if you hit me. You're not getting in. And he didn't. I'm like, no way. That you're a jerk. I'm going to get, it was really kind of pathetic because I was thinking, I wish I had a gun. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I was thinking those base thoughts. I'm like, what was I going to do? Shoot him? No, I don't know.
That's a movie.
True confession. I'm like, I'm watching too much TV, right? But we're watching Hawaii 5-0 reruns, and it's like, it gets in your head. So you wonder why there's so much terror going on today. That thought pumped into my mind. I'm like, well, I wished I had a gun.
Well, all jokes aside, road rage is heavy. So, you're probably doing a good job giving a message out there to people practice some patience.
That guy got behind me. I was thinking, what a nincompoop. If I really wanted to just tell him, you're a real jerk, that. But I thought, I don't need to do that. I don't need to be like him. I gotta take the higher road.
We're glad you did. We're glad you did not say what you had in your thoughts.
Well, yeah, you know what? And, he could have had a gun. Could have been a duo right in the middle of Walmart parking lot for gas. I bet you might find something like that on the news. What do you bet, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm glad you have a little message for our audience. Practice patience, man, because you might get in trouble if you say what's on your mind.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Nowadays you have to watch out everything you say because everybody's trying to sue people for stuff, It's ridiculous. I tried to post something on YouTube this morning and pitching for my book. Yeah. There was an interview by this Saudi. They wear the white sheet and they get the band around. I think they look so mystical and they're really interesting people. I'd like to get to know them. And so the guy's like spilling the beans on what happened with the Palestinian thing. That there's no such thing as a Palestinian, and they're actually gypsies and Romans and Turks, a remnant of people that are stateless. And then when Arafat tried to get a state for them, it was offered, and Arafat turned them down, and al-Husseini turned them down. They don't want their own state. They want to exterminate the Jews. That's what they really want. And it was so interesting to have this Saudi say this. So I thought, oh my God, I've got to repost this on my YouTube channel. So I put it up there this morning, and like 5 minutes later, YouTube gives me this warning and says, you've got some kind of a strike against your channel now for posting a hate video. And if I want to restore my channel, I have to go through this 7-video training. I'm like, what? You can't speak the truth, like it's okay. You see media smothered with all kinds of hate messages. And here I am trying to promote facts, just the facts, ma'am. I'm giving you the facts, but you can't say the facts anymore because people don't want to hear it. They want to prop up the propaganda. That's what it's a propaganda war. That's what it is. So I'm going to put a pitch in for my book right here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, just go to this website. And if you're watching the news, by the way, regarding this Israeli-Palestinian conflict right now, you're going to find out that Biden is finally doing something about 1701. The UN failed to do their job and push back Hezbollah to the Litani River, and that's why they're encroaching on northern Israel. So now that there's a war, people want to fix something that the UN didn't even want to deal with, even though it was their resolution. So anyway, it's in my book. Just go to my book and it'll tell you all the details. Get educated and speak the facts. DebraCohenBooks.org.
Awesome. Man, I can't believe we only had 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I can't believe how time just flew like that. But I
can't believe it.
I know, right?
Wait.
You don't have to have a part 3. So before we wrap this up, what else is on your mind?
Oh, please. Well, I'm so glad. Guess what? I'm going to be 70 in November. So I entered a beauty contest, and I am asking all of your people, please, please, please vote for me. It started 25 minutes ago, and it'll support the National Breast Foundation, National Breast Cancer Foundation, and give me some, exposure. So go to this website, or let me see, hang on. It's VoteFab, FAB 40.com/2024/ oh, they love the slashes, don't they? Debra, DEBRA-Cohen, COHEN-2. And while Shemaiah is closing, I will hold up a QR code so you can scan it.
There you go.
And get right to it, hopefully.
Hold it. There you go. Perfect. And we'll also put in our show notes too. So once again, if you're listening, I'm Refocus Radio talking to our guest today, Debra Cohen. Go to her music website, DebraCohenMusic.com. And you gave a website for your book as well where they can find it. Can you give that one more time?
Yes, DebraCohenBooks.org.
Yeah, I'm going to have her, if you don't mind, after the show, if you can email or send me a message with the unique link for the voting part for what you're doing. That way we can get our audience to go out and support your voting. And real fast, your husband, I know y'all being affected by the hurricanes. If you don't mind, what's the link that people can probably support his business?
Oh, well, aren't you so kind? Well, you could just go to my website, DebraCohenMusic.com, and there's a donate button there.
Nice.
And just go through the website and look for the donate. And if you just indicate where you want the money to go, meaning my husband, I might give it to him.
Well, somebody's going to have it, and at least his wife will have it, so that should be good. It's only going to get the groceries. Once again, it's crazy how time goes by, but might have to have you on just on the regular, because it seems like every time you have you on, it feels like it's 3 minutes, but it's actually been like 27 minutes. So I have all the links in the bio for people to support what you're doing, and hopefully y'all bounce back from these 2 hurricanes, and thoughts and prayers are with Florida, and hopefully support and action will follow that, because I know a lot of people, they want a little bit more than thoughts and prayers. They want some action behind that. So hopefully that happens for y'all, and y'all have a speedily recovery.
Thank you.